Welcome back, it's 2025 and this year really did start off with a bang, but not in the way you expect.
You wake up in the morning after a horrible night of snow and ice and rain, it's all gone now, and you come over to your pride and joy sitting there waiting for you and find out it looks like this. Yes, that is right, the Kadjar has officially been killed by someone.
Yes, the mighty Kadjar hath fallen from the throne from which it once sat. And now, I don't have a car. Or do I?
So it's the Mark 1 TT 8N BAM engine. This little car is a gem. It feels powerful, it feels planted, it feels really good. It does not feel like a 2001, country lanes, oh God. Does not feel like a 2001 car. There's a little bit of harshness with the suspension. It's got some kind of coilovers on it. I think I'll be replacing them for some good quality ones at some point, and I'll hopefully be upgrading all the suspension, polybushing it and whatnot. But yeah, this car is amazing. Absolutely loving it. It's got that real smooth, linear Audi feel to it, which is always been nice. It really feels almost a supercharged feel. It doesn't have that turbo lag sort of kick that you tend to get with a lot of cars. With the stock Audis, especially these 1.8Ts, they've got a real nice smooth feel about them. That will obviously change once I start tuning it up, and the remap will probably make the car feel significantly more aggressive. However, it is a real peach. It drives really nicely. I'm very excited. Now, yes, the Kadjar got crashed into. That will be another video. And unfortunately, that left me kind of carless up until the insurance company decided to give me a courtesy car. Anyway, everything happens for a reason. So the Kadjar got crashed into, and literally the very next day, this car turns up. Now, in order to find out exactly what happened with this car, we're gonna have to rewind a little bit. So Shadoe,
yes sir.
Long time old school brethren.
Long time.
We've known each other for how long now?
Easily plus 10 years, 15
way
years.
More than
way
10
more
years.
than
Yeah, way more than 10
years.
years. Must be 15 years.
Car show days. So, you know,
15
car
meet days.
Meet days.
Meet days. Stevenage meet days.
Stevenage.
Them meets even still happen. I don't even know. But
Broken Corsa days.
broken.
You could insert that clip of the car falling apart.
Oh jeez, there was a lot of broken cars.
There was
back
a
then.
lot of broken cars.
I think everyone's car was broken.
Bro, everybody's car. Man. Broken dreams.
Broken dreams. Broken bank accounts. Broken
Extra
relationships.
broken. I can testify to all of that.
Yeah, we've all been there. All real car people have been there. This is what we live for, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's part of the process of learning. It's part of the process of being enthusiastic about something, isn't it? Being passionate about it. You deal with the pleasure and the pain of it.
The pain of it. And I think like when all your mates are around, I think that's what makes it even better. Because it's a trial or whatever you face is always better when you've got people around to you, even if they're taking the piss out of you.
Well, this is the reason we know each other. We know each other because of cars. I met you at Stevenage Meet.
Through cars. Yeah.
Through cars, my old Mercedes, which is still there somewhere, rotting away.
Yeah. Sad violin. Cue the sad violin. Cue the sad violin.
One day it will be on the channel. One day it will be getting repaired. The ball is in motion. It's just time and, more importantly, money to get these things across the line.
I would love to see that car back on the road again.
I think a lot of people look at YouTubers and think, it's magic. Like people on my comments, and I listen to all the comments. I read all the comments, and I read all the suggestions, and I appreciate them. Keep sending them.
But I'm not ignoring, I'm not, disregarding. It's just, this stuff is hella expensive. It really is. Like, repairing cars, nothing's free. You got to pay for everything. Got to pay for the tools, the parts, and at the end of the day, I'm doing this all by myself.
Exactly. It's partly why I'm here too.
Yeah, partly why you're here. But wait, what about you? Where did your love for cars start? How did that all kick off?
I think I've always had a love for anything a vehicle that moves, from lorries and trucks. My grandfather was a lorry driver in Jamaica. And he had tons of cars, from Mark III Golfs, Mark IVs, old Toyota Corollas. And I remember I was just curious, always around them, always helping out, fixing, tinkering where I can, bring a tool. And the day when he found out I stole one of the cars to go out, he didn't get mad at me. He just said, I'm getting too curious. I need to start having driving lessons. And that's when he realized, I need to go. So,
but that was his own fault, though, really.
That was his own fault, bringing me around all them trucks and lorries and everything like that.
So what cars have you had? Talk to me about your car history.
So the first car I've personally ever owned was, as you know, was a Vauxhall.
Was it the Corsa? No.
The Vauxhall Corsa 1.2.
I've seen that car.
SXI.
I never heard it start ever in my life.
No, you did see it. We met at the car meeting there.
Were you in it?
Yeah, absolutely. However, ever since it started its transition, it never ran again.
So this is typical car culture.
Typical car culture.
Your plan was, talk to me about that plan, because it was a good plan.
It was a good plan, and
theory.
I had it together. So at the time when it was still relatively new, a lot of drivers was doing the 2-liter turbo swap from the GSIs or the XRs in them. And I wanted to do the same. I wanted to swap one out. And I had
It's not straight in, bro.
It's not. It's not. I found out that the hard
He dropped
way.
straight in. If anyone ever tells you on any car project, drop straight in, they're lying to you, and you're lying to yourself if you believe them.
No, absolutely
Because Shadoe
not.
will tell you his story. Continue, my friend.
That was nightmare, hellish. I remember we were living in Stevenage, and I said, I'm going to do it. I picked up a motor with a gearbox, everything to go.
Z20 let.
Z20 let.
Yeah.
I think it was an LEH, not quite sure, but Z20 let.
Doesn't really matter
same motor,
at this point.
Same motor. And I had everything ready to go, hard boost pipes, intercooler. I spent my very last dime paycheck on an intercooler kit, second hand off eBay. I was keeping it relatively budget friendly as I possibly can. And I remember I started that day, that car went on that drive, backed up, and I started pulling it apart. Never started again. I pulled that engine out, and I managed to get all the mounts and everything in and all of that. And at the very early stages, people were still posting stuff on forums about the wiring loom and the forum days, wiring loom. I would sit there evening, every day after a shift, I would come in, toiling over a wiring loom, writing down which loom, which wires for which wire, and whatever. And eventually I just gave up on it. I realized I bit off more than I can chew.
I mean, it was
very ambitious.
It was
very ambitious for someone who has little or no experience with. I mean, at this stage, I changed 1 or 2, 3 brake pads. The most I ever did was probably change an exhaust.
I mean, you had the engine in.
I had the engine in.
The engine was
cranked.
Yeah, mechanically it was in.
It was in, and
just
it cranked,
didn't go anywhere.
but it didn't start, and it didn't go anywhere.
So you're here for a good reason.
Yes.
And it's actually very coincidental because the Renault Kadjar got killed last night. Someone decided to wipe it out in the snowy conditions. Got out to it this morning.
Oof.
All smashed up. So that's fun. So I haven't got a car at the moment. But this guy's turned up with something for me. And so tell me, first of all, what car is it and why are you giving it to me?
Sweet. Well, I came into a possession of a lovely...
You sound dodgy when you say it.
I came into possession of a lovely Audi TT 225 Mark 1.
Yeah.
And it was given to me, funny enough, by a good friend of mine, a work colleague of mine. He recently upgraded his car. He's been using this car. He's the second owner of it, and he's had it from the original owner who's put 100,000+ miles on it. He bought it during COVID, and he's been using it ever since to and from work. It needs some TLC, but he's effectively been driving it. It runs absolutely fine. And he gave it to me in good faith that I would use it as a track car. That was his original intention, because he wanted to track it. He had an MX-5, and he had it as a track car. Someone hit into the back of it, wrote it off. So ever since then, he's been looking for a car to go do a bit of track day with. He got that with the intention to eventually do it up. He started with some coilovers, bits and bobs, and now he's upgraded the car. He doesn't have any room for it, and he says, hey, I know you love this car. Do you want to come take it because you want to do track days? And I said, sweet. I went and scooped it up. I was so excited. I drove it like 20 miles. I was on the motorway and I felt like a boss. Even though it's a hairdresser's car, as they say, but I felt like the prettiest hairdresser in the world. But yeah, the car is solid, drives great. And the intention behind it is to actually, like I said, get some real track time. It's a great platform. I mean, those 1.8s, they shared across the whole VW group. There's a plethora of parts you can get from different, VW parts bin. In the Golf, in the Seat. So
it's massive aftermarket.
Massive aftermarket.
So what happened? You had it for how long?
I've had it now for about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I've had it for about 2 weeks, but I've come to realize that it's not the right time for me yet to be able to start doing the track stuff.
And you haven't started on your Mazda yet.
And I haven't started on the Mazda yet.
So you're starting on the new car before finishing the old car.
And I feel like even though it's affordable on the TTs, it is a little bit outside of my disposable income to start spending that sort of money on the TT. And I personally, for someone, I'm speaking purely from, I know where my lines are and I'd like to stay in my lane. Financially, it's not a place where I want to start putting money in because they're a bit more expensive than the Mazdas to do. And more importantly, for someone who has little or no track time, I don't want to be going out there with a lot more power that I'm not used to.
I mean, the Mazda's probably a perfect platform to learn on. And this is the thing, I think people get caught up in this whole power, you need a powerful car for the track. You really don't.
No.
You'll have a lot more fun, especially as a learner on a track in something with lower power and better handling. You want low power, you're lightweight, nice handling, and then you can really learn the car. If you go off the road, you're not going to smash it up, and it's more forgiving. You make a mistake, you're not going so fast.
I'm going to
eat into the barrier or anything
completely
like that.
send myself to the Shadoe. That's the idea, that I won't get cooked on the track. But so manageable power, and I want to focus more on doing the Mazda than doing the TT. And then obviously, you told me about the incident, everything that hooked you up. I mean, we've been talking back and forth prior, but when that obviously the unfortunate news, you told me about it, I said, perfect, because you were looking, from my understanding, looking for something.
Well, everyone's requested. The first thing is everyone's been banging on my comments. When are you going to do a project? When are you going to start working on cars? When are you going to do some wrench time? And I've been waiting to find. I've been trying to get hold of some kind of a project car. But again, it's all money. It's all time. These things are not free. We watch guys like, Auto Alex, they've got budget, they've got big budget, they've got big team, they've got sponsors, they can afford to go out and buy even £1,000 car. For me, £1,000 car is high budget. That's a big budget bill for me.
And we got mates.
We got friends. We got friends.
You need to put the little thing goes, friends.
We have friends. So you've decided to donate me this car.
Absolutely. And free of charge, minus the 20 quid fuel I put in.
Minus the 20. So I've got to do what you were supposed to do, which is what the guy before you was supposed to do.
Absolutely. It's something that you absolutely have to do now. Because it's set in stone. It's the intention of what was the responsibility was passed on to me. And I said, there's a guy better fitted for the job.
My father passed this on to my father's father.
father.
It's all going to be fun, I'm just here for the fun of it, Nothing's too serious. And let's see what we can get out of this car.
Wicked.
Now, I do have a really good idea of what I want to do with this car, but first of all, I need to make a phone call. So let me call my old friend, Antonio from AutoSportivo.
Hello.
Hello, Antz.
Hello, my brother.
Hello, dude. Happy New Year and all that bollocks.
Happy New Year.
How are you doing?
I'm good. What pleasure do I owe for this phone call?
Well, I have a challenge for you, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is what you need to do. These are the rules. I need you.
Right, go on.
You need to buy a car for under £1,000, £1,000 or less. Yeah, any car you want, right? Once you've got it, you can do whatever you want with it, whatsoever, any mods you want, whatever you want to do. And you've maybe got 2 months, wait till the springtime when weather gets better, and I'm going to challenge you against me with my project car on one of the tracks, maybe Bedford Autodrome or, I don't know, anywhere we can find a track that will let us basically drive on there. So what do you think about that?
All right. Challenge accepted, bro.
Nice.
You're going to lose.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's a couple of rules. First rule, obviously, car has to be under £1,000.
Yep.
Second rule, it has to be roadworthy. It has to drive itself to and from the track.
So it's got to have MOT on it?
Has to have MOT and has to be roadworthy. Any car that goes home on a trailer is disqualified from everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're allowed to have 3 drivers on your team, but you can only have 1 good driver, 1 experienced driver. The rest of them have to be average.
I've got the stick, right?
You've got your Stig, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find myself one. Oh, it's Daniel Stig, yeah?
Mechanic Dan is my stick. Yeah.
Okay, so you'll have 1 good driver anyway, so that's it. And yeah, let's see how it goes.
What about brake horsepower? Is there like a certain...
I'll give you a ballpark just so it's fair. I'm going for around the 300 give or take mark. So that gives you a ballpark to work with. I don't know if I'll get there, but...
£1,000. All right, okay.
You can do it.
I can do it. I'll find something.
If anyone's going to find a gem, it's going to be you. You're the guy who finds these little nuggets.
Yes.
That's your expertise.
Challenge accepted. Leave it to me.
All right, dude. We will circle back to this in a bit, and I'll see what you've got.
All right, man.
Cool, bro. In a bit. Ooh. Ciao. I think he's gone. He's already gone to get his car. Let's go. So here we have my very first project car for my channel. It's the mighty Audi TT Mark 1 AN with the 1.8 BAM engine. This is the 225 brake horsepower, and I can't say I'm not excited about it. I've never been the biggest fan of these cars, but they've grown on me over time, and I think it's kind of come full circle for me. Now that you don't see so many of the Mark 1s knocking about, the sort of stigma of Soul Solid days has worn off a little bit. So I'm excited. I cannot wait to get into this. I'm planning to try and get it up to about 300 brake, give or take. But my main thing I'm going to do with this car is I'm going to get it lightweight. Focus on handling. I need to make sure this car is competitive because I need to give Antonio a run for his money. I know he's going to come with something quite serious. I know what he's like. He's a very competitive guy, so I can't hold back on this car. Now, overall, I'm quite impressed with this car. For a free car, it's in really good shape. There seems to be no real rust or corrosion, the usual bits that happen to these TTs. Looking in the engine bay, all the bits that are normally problematic, like all the breather hoses, the PCV system pipes, they normally go really brittle or really spongy. They end up like Play-Doh and breaking. They look like they've all been done. Everything's been done. It's got new clamps on everything. So I'm imagining he's replaced all the PCV pipes, which are a common problem with this car. The little extension for the oil cap, which brings it up here, is gone. The seals go on them. So I've taken it off for now. I've put the cap in straight onto the engine, but I will get another one of those. That's cheap and easy fix. This car has very, very few problems. The only problem it does have is the brakes are a little bit spongy, and after having a quick look in the brake fluid reservoir, it looks like that fluid is extremely, extremely old. The other problem it has is the airbag warning light. For some reason, came on the other day and it hasn't gone off. So I'll have to plug in the diagnostic and work out what's going on there. Otherwise, oh yeah, one other problem is for some reason the handbrake light won't go off. Could be to do with the fluid, but again, that's another little tinker job. I'll have to figure it out and work out what's going on there. Otherwise, the car has MOT, it runs and drives fine, it's got new front tires, the rear tires are fine. The interior is what you'd expect it to be for the car of its age. It's only got wear on the driver's seat, which is no big deal because I'm gonna change all these anyway, all being well. Done 140 odd thousand miles and it runs absolutely perfect. So big thanks to Shadoe for this one. Other little issues, it has got a dent on the roof here. Now, I have got something in mind for the cosmetics of this car. So what I'll do is I'm gonna get my friend Joe down the road to pull this out and filler it and primer it. And then we're gonna do what we need to do. So I'm gonna make it look worse before it looks better, but that's not a big issue for me at all. Hopefully I can get some good sporty exhausts on there, some performance bits. I'd like to try and get plastic windows. Let's see what we can do. Anyway, I'm working on the part side of things. Shadoe's original plan for this car was to turn it into a tribute vehicle for his favourite childhood racing driver, Doug Hollywood Gore, who was a legend in Jamaica. Unfortunately, due to Shadoe's circumstances changing, he's not been able to fulfil this project, but hopefully in the future he manages to get it done. I've got something slightly different planned for this car, but first things first, I need to get together a huge haul of parts and spares, so the next time you see this car, it will be getting modified.